Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Here on Abby the Witch, we do witchy and alternative things. If you are a returning subscriber, hi, welcome back. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. And if you are new here, hi, welcome. Nice to meet you, and thank you so much for joining us today. So here today on Abby the Witch, I'm going to be doing 5 witchy things that I used to be really scared of before or right in the beginning of starting witchcraft. So some of these things you might think are kind of silly, but it is what it is. And I'm being very vulnerable and open in this video, so I'd appreciate your respect and understanding. So let's go ahead and get started. So before I jump in, I wanted to give my shout out. So my shout out today,
What girl you walking around you jing-a-linging? You jing-a-linging? She wants to say hi. She wants to say hi. Hi, baby. You saying hi? You saying hi? See her, she goes, says hi. Hi, she goes, that's hot, be careful. I love you. What are you doing?
Anyway, my shout out today is actually not witchy at all. Still wanted to give them a shout out though. It's actually my brother-in-law, and his channel is Jon Kuhn. That's his name. It's just Jon Kuhn. I'll put it up here. And they also, I say they because it's my brother-in-law and sister who have this next channel called Trust Me. So Jon Kuhn, his channel is like just him. His first channel is mostly like infotainment and kind of like life coaching. Very cool. He does a great job. He's hilarious. He used to be a professional comedian, like hilarious. Go check out Jon Kuhn. And his other channel, which is, like I said, also with my sister, is called Trust Me. It's a podcast. They talk about monogamy, how you develop trust for one another, communication, all kinds of stuff, gender roles, stereotypes, all kinds of stuff. It's actually super interesting. Not even being biased, like I think it's super interesting, and I always watch it from start to finish. So go check out that as well. I'll have both of those channels linked down below. Go show them some love, okay? Okay guys, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the 5 witchy things I used to be scared of. So before I jump into these things that I used to be really scared of, I kind of wanted to give you guys a background on my spiritual journey, my life, I guess, upbringing, because that has a lot to do with why I was scared of these things that I'm about to mention. I grew up in the Lutheran Church, avid churchgoer as a child. My mom and dad used to make me go every single Sunday. I'd go to Sunday school. I went through confirmation. I went to youth group. I went to vacation Bible school or whatever it's called. Yeah, I went through all of that. Even though I went through all of that, I still don't know much about the Bible. But anyway, some people, a lot of witches I've heard say, yeah, I grew up in the church, but it never really fazed me. Oh, baby, it fazed me. Like, it instilled so much fear into me. And if you are a churchgoer and you believe in God or whatever, and that's the right path for you, then that's the right path for you. This is no tea, no shade. This is just how it affected me. Going to a Christian church instilled so much fear in me. When it comes to like my sexual orientation, I am not straight. I thought I was going to hell. I thought that anything else that I believed, like animals have souls and different things. No, like that's not right. That's not Christian. Like, you're going to hell for thinking those things. Like, it instilled so much fear into me. That so much so that looking back on like my middle school days, they were some of the darkest days of my life. Growing into my sexual orientation, growing into just myself, into my spiritual path, questioning it, like, and just thinking all the way up until I was probably like a sophomore in high school, thinking that I was going to go to hell. Yeah, it's, wow. I haven't really talked about it. But yeah. And just thinking that certain clothes that you wear is not okay, and just, I mean, you guys live on this planet. You know how Christianity is. Again, if you're a Christian and you're watching this, no tea, no shade, but this is how it affected me, right? Like my pastor left our church when I was a kid because there was like a new lesbian pastor and he didn't agree with it and he left. Just all kinds of drama, fear, not cool, right? Not ever feeling good enough. Just, yeah. And as I got older, though, as I went to high school, I became way more aware that there are other paths out there and I don't have to be Christian, right? Like, just because I like women and boys and men, doesn't mean I'm going to hell. Just because I like metal music doesn't mean I'm going to hell. Just because you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I started realizing these things and I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to affiliate with Christianity anymore, you know? And like, as I progressed and I stopped affiliating with being a Christian long time ago, like high school, like I said. But I believed in God, like my own version of God, all like through college even. Like I said, I'm being very open and honest with you guys. I'm being very vulnerable. But I stopped believing in God after I graduated high school and started like I said, Christianity has put a really, really bad taste in my mouth. And I just eventually got, so much so that I eventually just got to the point where I'm just like, I don't even believe in God anymore. I don't believe in the Christian God. I don't even have my own idea of what God is anymore. I just don't believe in it. Why would I believe in a God that punishes women for taking a piece of fucking fruit? Or thinks gay people are going to hell, or I think it's stupid. I'm sorry. Like, again, if you believe in God, then that's fine, but that's my opinion. This is my channel. I can say whatever I want. Okay, that being said, though, now you know how salty I am towards Christianity. But yeah, no, it has a lot to do with why I'm so scared of some of these things. Not all of these things that I'm going to mention, but a lot of these things I'm going to mention. That's why. But yeah. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about were different symbols, okay? Growing up, I always saw like 666 and different symbols that have to do with what I thought was like the devil and evil and darkness, right? And they're gonna come and get you. But the one symbol that really sticks out to me the most that used to scare me a lot was the pentacle. Growing up in my Lutheran church, I was taught that the pentacle was evil. It's associated with Satan. It's associated with darkness. It's associated with negativity. And again, being super evil, inverted or upright. Like, no. Like, I was taught, no, that's not okay. Obviously, as I've gotten older and progressed on my spiritual path, I have learned that that's not the case. And the pentacle actually has tons of different meanings, and throughout history has been used by several different religions, actually. Christianity actually once used the pentacle a long time ago. It might have been a different version of it or whatever, but I don't know. It's kind of wishy-washy because, religions go way back, and like there's tons of different meanings for the pentacle. And it's so funny to me now because now the pentacle is like my favorite witchy symbol. Like, not to be a basic witch, but like I am looking outside right now because I have a pentacle wind chime hanging outside my door. I have a fucking pentacle tattooed on my calf. Like, completely different now. Love the pentacle. It protects me. It balances me. Yada, 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 right? But yeah, growing up, I was petrified of it. I thought it meant Satan, and I thought it meant I was gonna go to hell if I drew it or whatever. It's just like, oh my God, it's like almost embarrassing to say, but again, it is what it is. Okay, so moving on. Let's actually do this one next. So the next one I really wanted to talk about were different deities, okay? So like I said, even after I cut myself off from Christianity as a young teenager, I still believed in God to an extent because it was still so instilled in me to not believe in anything different. Literally the only reason I kept believing in God, even after leaving the Christian church, I still wanted to believe in God because I thought I was going to go to hell if I didn't. And it was that fear was so instilled in me. I mean, I know I've said that a million times, but it's like, that's the only reason I didn't let go of God. That's literally the only reason I didn't let go of God. I was so fucking scared that if I stopped believing in him, and on top of everything else that was naughty about me, I was gonna go to hell, right? So I kept believing in God. But like I said with the symbols, the more I learned, the more I enlightened myself, and again, this is just me, the more I learned and realized that I don't have to believe in anything if I don't want to. You know, like, I don't have to believe in any deity if I don't want to, right? Now I believe in all kinds of stuff. I believe in the goddess and the god, the horned god, the sun god. Santa Morte is something that's really appealing to me. Baphomet is something that's very appealing to me. Lilith is something very appealing to me. Bridget. I mean, there's all kinds of deities out there that I think are super fucking interesting. And I work with animal spirits too. So I don't just work with one little deity now, or God. But yeah, no, isn't that crazy? The moment that dawned on me, I remember the day that dawned on me, like, am I still believing in God just because I'm fucking scared not to? Like, what kind of God would I want to believe in that, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason I still believe in you is because I'm fucking scared of you? No. Nope. Not going to do that. And believe in a God that wishes I was more straight or didn't have tattoos or, you know what I mean? It's just like, no. I'm not going to believe in that. I'm not going to believe in that. So, because again, I thought that if I didn't believe in him and I worshiped another deity or another God or whatever, I would go to hell. So, but the more I educated myself, the more I realized, like, oh, demons aren't actually like Christians are so black and white, right? A lot of Christians are. They're so black and white. Like, you have heaven, you have hell, you have angels, you have demons, you have God, you have Satan, right? There's no like wishy-washy areas of gray. I just think that's fascinating. Like, what about demons? Like, why? It's just like, why do they have to be so evil? You know what I mean? Like, what makes you think Satan is, you know what I mean? Like, is there even a Satan at all? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's crazy that some Christians, like, are so, like, black and white, you know, good, evil. It's just like, no, there's really not. There's actually light and darkness to everything. I think there's light and darkness to everything. I think, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so moving on, one thing that doesn't really have much to do with my religious background, it actually has to do with me starting out in witchcraft, and that's hexing. So most witches do not hex other people. At least that's what I've experienced. Through my experience, through what I have seen, most witches that I have talked to do not hex. Now, I don't hex either, but I do use counter spells, okay? I've only truly been hexed once and had to use a counter spell. Now, I know counter spells, I don't know if you would count that as hexing, but I just went ahead and threw it in here. Hexing to a lot of people means like you are the first one to actually do it. But to me, counter spell is just protection, right? Like, again, someone hexed me, so I'm not gonna just sit around and deal with it. Like, I'm gonna protect myself and send it back to them because fuck that. Like, I feel like they realized I wouldn't notice or something. It was really fucking stupid, but no, like, I did a counter spell and immediately it was gone. So yeah, definitely do counter spells. And if you count that as hexing, I don't know what to tell you, but Anyway, the next thing I wanted to, forgive me, I'm going to be looking down a lot. Next thing I wanted to talk about was, this kind of goes along with different deities, but I wanted to be more specific with this one, and that's Baphomet. Please tell me, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, the very traditional symbol going like this, the horned god going like this, Baphomet. But yeah, I definitely, even starting out witchcraft, I feel like, but definitely back in the day, when I saw that image, I was like, whoa, like evil, Satan, like I associated him immediately. And it was fear. It was all fear. It was all fear. It wasn't like I would tell people not to, but I would avoid it because it was fear. I was scared of him. Because I was taught from a very young age to not fuck with that shit. And the more I've learned, the more I realized, like, some people don't even really call Baphomet Satan. Like, Christians dubbed him that because it wasn't Christian enough, honestly. Basically is really what it is. No, he actually has a lot, she, because there's a balance of male, female. It's like, what really is he, her, they? But yeah, no, I don't know much about Baphomets. I've just seen them while I've been scrying. I've seen them a couple of times while I've been scrying. I see images of them a lot. I don't know. I feel very drawn. I feel like I've had conversations with them. So yeah, I feel very differently about Baphomet now. I've been doing more research on them and what she really means, why I feel so drawn to them. I don't know. I think really my guides realize that I'm ready. I'm ready to learn about him, and I'm ready to accept him as one of my guides and protectors. I keep saying he, but that's just yay patriarchy. That's just how it comes out because that's how I was raised. But anyway, yeah, seen him so much while I've been scrying. I really feel like he is meant to be one of my guides, protectors, but I need to do more research. Definitely have been more drawn to doing that for sure with Baphomet. But yeah, back in the day, I associated him with being Satan, evil. Even when I first started doing witchcraft, there was still that fear instilled in me. But yeah, it's like knowledge is power, dude. And I've learned so much, and I've realized like how much actually Christians actually stole from older religions and belief systems, and how much they would use fear to control people that were like pagan. And it's just like, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. The last one I really wanted to go over, and this is something kind of random and specific, but and this is kind of more associated with like pop culture, I feel like, but black and red candles. I used to be terrified of them, and even starting out witchcraft, I was terrified of them, especially black candles, because I was always taught that they, again, were evil, and as soon as you lit them, you were invoking all this evil, and it's like, oh my God. Now I light a black candle every day. I light a black candle every single day for protection. I light red candles a lot for empowerment, for passion, for love, right? Could even be self-love. But yeah, no, this is so funny, but I think my fear from black candles actually came from Hocus Pocus as a kid. Yeah, and I realized that candle wasn't black, but it was just like the flame that was black. It was the black flame candle or whatever. But I still like got that mixed up in my head as a kid and thought it was a black candle. Just immediately thought that if I ever lit a black candle, that dead people would come back to life and come get me and kill me or whatever. So, and I just, and then of course the red candle, it's red. And growing up, I thought the devil was red with like a spiky tail and shit, the stereotype. And I thought that if I lit a red candle, it would invoke the devil. It's just like silly things that, you make assumptions, affiliations as a kid. And again, it's fear. It's taught to you as a kid. To me anyway, it was taught to be scared of certain things. Yeah, I thought that was so funny that I grew up so terrified of black candles because of Hocus Pocus. But yeah, that was just, I mean, that was just me taking a fiction movie a little too seriously as a child. But yeah, that was my 5 witchy things that I used to be terrified of. If you have anything that you think is really funny that you used to be terrified of before starting your spiritual path, let me know down below. If any of these things you think were funny or whatever, let me know down below too. Again, please just be kind and respectful and lighthearted. I'm being very vulnerable again, so just be nice. But yeah, that's about it, guys. And I also have an Instagram, Abby the Witch, just like it is here. Go check me out over there. And yeah, that's about it, guys. So until next time, I hope you stay well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.